The killing of a Palestinian volunteer nurse by Israeli security forces on Friday shocked the world. The 21-year-old Rezan al-Najjar was shot by Israeli snipers as she ran to treat injured Palestinian protesters. Al-Najjar is now a new face in the Palestinian resistance struggles. She is also a new symbol of Israeli brutality, and her death is already drawing global attention to decades of suffering by Palestinians. The Palestinians say the world should not remain silent toward the killing of al-Najjar, what they say could have triggered strong reactions should it had occurred anywhere else.
But for military people to be killing like this, a national military force, to be able to go out there and just because they're given orders, to be able to shoot unarmed demonstrators like is going on, this being widely publicized to the world, and there being as little reaction to it as we've seen, shows that Israel once again has put on display that we are a special case. Probably only Israelis could be doing something like this and get away with it in terms of the UN reaction, the lack of press reaction, no religious reaction, and demonstrating to the world that we are a special case, that we have that much power. The small country that we are, we have enough power in all of your countries to suppress your political opposition and your media opposition.
Rezan al-Najjar's death comes after weeks of Palestinian protests, known as the Great March of Return. The peaceful protests that started in March have so far left above 120 Palestinians killed by Israeli live fire. Many are surprised that the world has largely remained silent toward what they believe is an instance of a brutal criminal act on the part of the Israelis. And concerns are to the same degree rising that the world's silence is already emboldening the Israelis to intensify their brutality against the Palestinians.
Nothing will have been done to help the Palestinian people because things are going to continue to go on as they have. So you've just brought a world of hate and anger and problems onto your own organization. And so they basically created a situation here where people can justify just staying out of it. There's nothing that can be done about it. It's a defeatist attitude that has taken actually several decades of this going on to imprint upon the world. And it is going to take a change of thinking from those independent institutions to get out and publicly do something and to put the feet in the fire of all of the politicians who are politically compromised, who also should be saying something.
The current peaceful protests that the Palestinians have started are meant to demand their right of return, in accordance with UN Resolution 194. They have clearly shown that they are not deterred by the violent Israeli response, but their persistence, the worsening Israeli brutality and the world's silence only promises higher fatalities. It is high time the world wake up to the truth about the sufferings of the Palestinians. A nation that has been denied of their ancestral land is victim to Israeli atrocities, not since March but for decades now. And the more such atrocities continue, the more the legitimacy of global institutions like the UN that have been formed to address the plight of nations, will be under question.